with layout number 7 for the Holiday Project. If you're not familiar with the Holiday Project, it is a class that I started in November where we're focused on 12 stories in one album, telling robust stories, holiday stories that is, that we have yet to capture in our scrapbooking. For more information, check out the links below. Now, my album, as I've mentioned, is focused on childhood memories. So this next story is called Not So Perfect Christmas Dinner. And here in a minute, I'm going to create this big old title. Now, this layout will not have a picture. I don't have a picture for this. I actually did not have a picture of an actual family gathering from when I was younger. But I am going to talk about how I wanted, or what I kind of perceived the perfect Christmas being when I was younger, versus kind of how I perceive it now, or how I'm not how I perceive it now, but how our family gatherings were in reality. And when I was younger, I definitely had sort of a very romantic idea about how holiday dinners should be. I have a very rambunctious, loud, crazy family. And so whenever we get together, there's lots of drinks and lots of cussing and the whole nine. And so it's definitely informal. And I remember thinking when I was younger, how much I wanted to have a family dinner where everyone got dressed up and sat around a big old table, and kind of like this traditional family dinner that you would see on TV. So let me share this story with you. There was a time during my childhood that I wished for the perfect family holiday dinner. Everyone would be dressed in their best outfit. The table would be beautifully decorated with china and stemware. Soft jazz would be playing in the background while the adults enjoyed glasses of wine and the kids played outside in the crisp fall air. Then we would all be called to dinner. The food would be placed around the table. Each person would pass a dish to the next. The conversation would be interesting and no one would be inebriated. After dinner, we would enjoy a delicious dessert of apple pie and other delectable delights along with coffee. The fire would be lit, glowing brightly, and someone would start our yearly reading of The Night Before Christmas. Can you tell this was romanticized? Okay, a group of relatives would gather outside to throw the pigskin around while other relatives enjoyed a nice game of chess in the study. I don't know anybody in my family who plays with chess, so this was definitely romanticized. All would be calm, all would be bright. But that scenario was only in my dreams. In reality, my family holiday dinners were nothing like this. The conversations were laid back and sometimes inappropriate for younger ears. The adults drank beer, rum and coke, and a variety of other spirits. Every now and then, there would be some sort of argument between a relative and their significant other. I pretty much could time that by clockwork with some of my relatives. It was insane. The latest 80s and 90s R&B music would play in the background really loud. Food was served from the kitchen. Just grab your plate, some food, and find a seat anywhere, on the couch, on the floor, at the table, if it wasn't occupied by domino players. There was laughing, cussing, and dancing. Most of the adults were drunk, and pretty much everyone had a good time because that's how it was. As I grew older, I came to appreciate the crazy family holiday dinners. There was always a lot of love and a ton of food. Everyone was welcome, family, fictive kin, friends, neighbors, anyone, and you were guaranteed to leave with a full belly. Along the way, I learned that the perfect family dinner doesn't exist for many. Family dinners are about coming together with the ones we love, enjoying a great meal, and reconnecting, and that doesn't require a fancy table setting or gourmet food. I love my family and wouldn't change them for the world. So the way that I'm going to tackle this layout, and I kind of talk about this a little bit in the class, is that you don't need a photo to tell your story. Sometimes just the words, maybe some embellishing just to create a beautiful layout will suffice. And of course you can see I did a lot of robust journaling on this page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with a piece of pattern paper, and this is from an old Scraptastic holiday kit. And I printed my story on 8.5 by 11 white cardstock, which I've trimmed down because I wanted some of this red to show. And I think what I might do is just have a little bit of a play with some washi tape, just to kind of see how that comes out. And I'm going to create a big old title here using probably maybe 2 or 3 thicker fonts. So I'm going to play with this and see how it comes about. Again, my focus was mainly on this story. story, I thought about printing a stock photo from like Google of a family having dinner, like the perfect family, but it just didn't feel very authentic. And since I don't have a picture, I'm going to do a pictureless layout. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to speed up the video. Again, if you have any question, or no, again, if you want to learn more about the holiday project, the class is still on sale. It will always be on sale. So whether you want to tackle this project now or sometime in the new year, you are more than welcome to. All the information is linked down below. The links are down below in the description box. Okay, let me speed this up and figure out how I'm going to get this layout together. All right, so let's get started on this layout. I pulled a selection of washi tape. Now this washi tape I pulled specifically for my holiday scrapbooking, and I have some blues, and I have this black and white polka dot and red, and I have a couple of thin washi tape. And what I want to do is just create a band of washi tape going down the right side of this page. Now this is a really good way to use up your washi tape. If you're like me, then you probably have a ton of washi tape in your stash, and you know, I'm not close to not buying anymore. Like every time I see washi tape, I have to get it because I absolutely love washi tape. I use it in my planner and my art journal, as well as on scrapbook layouts. So I'm just going to repeat the pattern here in just a second. I love that gray and white washi. That's so pretty. And then I think I'm going to finish out the pattern here with this black thin washi. I believe that's like an Amy Tan washi. Most of this washi I've had for a while, so I forget who the manufacturer is for a lot of them. Okay, so now I'm ready to mount my layout on this pattern piece of red paper, and that I believe is from a Scraptastic kit from last year. I want to do a tiny bit of stamping, or no, actually I want to make some embellishments. And so I'm going to take a couple of scrap pieces of paper that were left over from my Scraptastic kit from last year, and I'm also taking some Allie Edwards stamps. And the images on the stamp say spread cheer, ho ho ho, and December memories. And I thought it would be fun to stamp it on this pattern paper, or these pattern papers, and then emboss it with this red glitter embossing powder, just to do something a bit sparkly on the page. I'm going to go ahead and heat up my heat tool and melt that embossing powder. I'm going to do the same on this polka dot. Is sort of a light or dark gray and white polka dot pattern paper. Get that all nice and powdered up and heat that with my heat tool as well. And when you're using your heat tool, make sure you warm it up first. That prevents your paper from warping too bad. All right, and lastly, I'm going to do this last stamp on a piece of heather gray pattern, not pattern paper, but textured cardstock. And I love this color. It's so pretty. Very, very pretty. Get that all melted. Now, those are going to hang out for a little bit. I'm going to work on the title. And the title is going to read, Not the Perfect Holiday Family Dinner. And I wanted the title to read big, and I wanted to use a lot of different sticker fonts. So in a second, I'm going to change the word not to a different font because I thought that gold didn't work too well up there. So I'm going to use a puffy font from Pink Fresh Studio, their Christmas Wishes collection from last year. And then the word the, I'm going to use some thickers from the Dear Lizzie Woodland collection. The word perfect is from the Wish Seasons collection by Kim Watson, and that was from last year as well. And then to spell out the word holiday, I'm going to use another thicker font called Journal. It's one of my favorite fonts. I love those skinny fonts. That's a red glittery font. So there we go. Now I get an idea midway through. I thought I was going to use that font, but I'm not. Set that to the side. I'm thinking at this point I need something to the left side of that layout, but I'm thinking about it at this point. I thought I would try out that puffy family, but that didn't work either. The word family from that Wish Seasons collection. I'm looking around to see if there's anything else. But while I'm thinking about that, I find this little scrap piece that I made for a layout. I think it was probably layout 1 or 2 in this particular series, and I didn't use it. So I decided I would put that on the left side because the layout needed a little something. After I decided to use that, then I looked over and I found my Mini Market letters, and this is in cream, mint and cream, to spell out the word family. And then to spell out the word dinner, I'm using another Thickers font called Fitzgerald. That's another one of my favorite fonts from Thickers, and that's a gold glittery font. Now I want to make a tab. I needed something else to go there with that little scallop strip. And I believe, either that strip came that way or I cut it, but I can't remember. And then the blue strip behind it has little fishtails on it, so I add that tab, which I think works perfect. And I'm going to attempt to add some staples using my tiny attacher, but it just doesn't work. I really wish they would come out with a long arm tiny attachers. Like, I know that can't be hard, right? I'm totally not an engineer or designer, so here I am talking about, oh, it can't be that hard, right? But I mean, it would make sense to make one. I hope maybe they do. Come on, Tim Holtz, get it together. All right, so I add a snowman, which has nothing to do with the actual theme of this layout, except that it's Christmas and wintertime. I really don't have any other reason to use it. It didn't snow here in Texas, so, you know, whatever. I'm not bitter. And then I'm going to put this little puffy sticker that says Bright right on top of that label, just to add a bit of interest there, to draw the eye. I'm going to bring over my little embellishments that I made, stamping on the pattern paper. So the top one says Spread Cheer, the middle one says Ho Ho Ho, and the bottom one will say December Memories. I'm going to pop up the one that says Ho 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 on some foam, on a piece of foam strip, just to give it a bit of presence on the page, and then adhere the other ones flat to the washi tape. Now, let's see, I grabbed this label and it says, "This is awesome." Now that snowman and that label come from the Snow and Cocoa Puffy sticker collection, or Puffy Charms, Puffy stickers, whatever they're called. Super cute. And so it says, "This is awesome." I popped that up on a little bit of foam as well. And then I'm adding some foam circles or foam dots. Not foam, but puffy. Sorry, they're puffy, puffy shapes. And then I see these other little puffy shapes and they have snowflakes on them. So I decided to add those as well, just out of a bit of interest. And you know what? I absolutely had no plan for this layout. I just smacked some stuff on the page, and if it worked, great. If it didn't, I took it off and started all over again. But I figured I would make this really busy, sort of crazy layout because my family's kind of crazy. So I figured it was fitting. Okay, so this bird, again, has nothing to do with the story, but you know what? He was in my die cuts, and I decided to use him. And he has that cute little scarf, so, you know, why not? Then I'm going to grab this little rubber charm, and that's from Pink Fresh Studio. I believe that was the Christmas Wishes collection. I'm going to add a couple staples with my tiny attacher. Get that out here for just a second. To hold that in place, because those rubber charms, the adhesive on them is really sticky, and they don't, for some reason, they don't stick to the page. I don't know why. Then I want to add a stamp using my Ali Edwards December Daily stamp set from last year, and that stamp says "This Story." And then I wanted the page to have a little bit more presence. That white piece of paper just looked too stark. So I'm going to add this really cool circle stamp. That's also an Ali Edwards stamp from last year's December Daily, one of the stamps that was available. And I'm just stamping that randomly across the page. Again, I had no plan for this page. It just all kind of came together. Well, outside of the journaling, rather. Okay, so here is the finished page. It came out really cool. Again, I really like how sort of hodgepodgey it looks with all the different colors and the patterns and the washi tape, and of course the different fonts that I used to create the title, and then the random embellishments that I just kind of found and put on the page. It all just seems to work together. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the Holiday Project. 12 Stories, 1 Album is still available, still on sale. The link is posted below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, there's a little bell icon next to the subscribe button. If you click on that, then you'll get notifications whenever I post the video. So make sure that you do that. All right, I'll see you next time.